Hello everyone, I'm Said and welcome back. In this video, we're gonna start with one of the most important topics in algebra, the quadratic function. A quadratic function is a function of the form f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are constants, and a is not equal to 0. Quadratic function appears in many areas of, for example, mathematics, physics, engineering, and real-life problems. For example, they can describe the path of moving object or optimization problems such as finding a maximum or minimum value. So this topic is not only important for algebra, but also very useful in applications. Right? Before we study the full properties of quadratic functions, we should first learn how to solve a quadratic equation. A quadratic equation is an equation like ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Solving this equation means finding all values of x that make the equation true. These values are also called the roots or solution of the quadratic equation. There are several methods for solving quadratic equations. The most common methods are factoring, completing the square, and using the quadratic formula. Let's briefly understand each one.
Number 1. Factoring. If the quadratic expression can be factored, then we write it as a product of two linear factors. For example, x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0 can be written as x minus 2 times x minus 3 equals 0. Now we use the zero product property, so x minus 2 equals 0, so x is 2, or x minus 3 equals 0, so x is 3. So the solutions are 2 and 3. Or if x squared plus 2x minus 8 equals 0 can be written as x plus 4 times x minus 2 equals 0. So we have x plus 4 equals 0 or x minus 2 equals 0. So x is negative 4 and x is 2. Right? Or x squared minus 8x plus 15 can be written as x minus 3 times x minus 5 equals 0. So we have x minus 3 equals 0 or x minus 5 equals 0. So x is 3 or x is 5. Number 2. Completing the square. This method is useful when factoring is difficult or impossible. For example, x squared plus 6x plus 5 equals 0. First, move the constant term to the other side. So we have x squared plus 6x equals negative 5. In this expression, b equals 6. So add b over 2 squared to the both sides. So 6 over 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So we have x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals negative 5 plus 9 equals 4. So we get x plus 3 squared equals 4. Now take the square root of both sides. We have x plus 3 equals 2, or x plus 3 equals negative 2. So x is negative 1 or x is negative 5. Right? Or x squared plus 4x plus 1 equals 0. Again, first move the constant term to the other side. So we have x squared plus 4x equals negative 1. Now add b over 2 squared to the both sides. b is 4, so 4 over 2 is 2 squared equals 4. So we have x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals negative 1 plus 4 is 3. So we have x plus 2 squared equals 3, right? So we have, now take the square root of both sides. We have x plus 2 equals the square root of 3, or x plus 2 equals negative the square root of 3. So the final answer is x equals negative 2 plus the square root of 3, or x equals negative 2 negative the square root of 3. Right? Or x squared plus 3x plus 1 over 4 equals 0. Again, first move the constant term to the other side. So we have x squared plus 3x equals negative 1 over 4. b is 3. So add 3 over 2 squared to both sides is 9 over 4, right? So we have x squared plus 3x plus 9 over 4 equals negative 1 over 4 plus 9 over 4 equals 8 over 4 or 2, right? So we have x plus 3 over 2 squared equals 2. Now take the square root of both sides. We have x plus 3 over 2 equals the square root of 2, or x plus 3 over 2 equals negative the square root of 2, right? So final answer is x is the square root of 2 minus 3 over 2. X equals the negative the square root of 2 minus 3 over 2. Number 3, the quadratic formula. This is a general method and it works for every quadratic equation. For ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, the solution are given by x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times ac over 2a. So a is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, and c is a constant. This formula is very important because it always works, even when factoring is not possible. For example, let's solve 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 equals 0. So in this problem, a is 2, b is 3, and c is negative 2. So substitute into the formula. We have x equals negative 3 plus or minus the square root of b squared is 9 minus 4 times a is 2 and c is negative 2 over 2a over 4, right? So 9 minus negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. So we have negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 9 plus 16 over 4, right? And we know that 9 plus 16 is 25. So the square root of 25 is 5. So we have x equals negative 3 plus 5 over 4, or x equals negative 3 minus 5 over 4. So final answer is x equals 1/2 and x equals negative 2. So the solutions are 1/2 and negative 2. Or x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. In this problem, a is 1, b is 4, and c is 4. So x equals negative b is negative 4 plus or minus the square root of b squared is 16 minus 4 times a times c is 4 over 2a over 2. So we have 16 minus 16 is nothing. So negative 4 over 2 is the answer. So we have negative 2. So in this video, we introduced the quadratic function and learned the basic idea of solving quadratic equations. We saw that quadratic equations can be solved by factoring, completing the square, and the quadratic formula. In the next video, we will study more about quadratic functions. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.